Only on 13, an accused Peeping Tom was met with bullets after smashing the window of a home in Meyerland this morning. The family inside said they called police, and then one of them was arrested. ABC 13's Luke Jones is live from HPD headquarters with this story. Luke.
Yeah, we're told a man's in trouble for shooting the accused peeper, who we're told was armed with a butcher knife and a hammer. Now, police aren't confirming that at the moment, only telling us there's one person potentially facing charges. To that man's relatives, though, they say he shouldn't be. It's a clear-cut case of self-defense. Handcuffed and limping, the man Keontae Davis says she saw peering through her bathroom window this morning at the Life at Jackson Square apartments. We're not showing his face since he hasn't yet been charged with a crime.
He's asking me, do I have a cigarette?
Her brother-in-law scares him off, she says.
You can't stare through people's windows, that's weird.
But hours later, when Davis is already at work, her relatives say the man reappeared, smashing the window with a hammer.
My mom was in the bathroom as he busted. She thought somebody was shooting. That's how bad, like, she said she just dropped to the ground and started crawling.
This time, she says her brother-in-law runs outside to confront the man, who family members say was also armed with a butcher knife.
And shots just went off.
Darion Davis says her husband shot the vandal in the leg. Then they called police. They weren't expecting what happened next. Her husband arrested, she claims, and told he'll be charged with aggravated assault.
I definitely don't think that he deserved that. I think he deserved self-defense, because that's what that was.
The accused peeper went to the hospital. Police haven't said if he'll face charges.
Blood, like here.
Davis hopes he does. She says he's been squatting in this vacant apartment, and others tell us they've caught him peering in their windows too.
I literally am scared to actually be in these apartments or in this area anymore, because HPD doesn't take anything serious. Like they just let everything go around here.
Now, last check, criminal charges hadn't posted for Davis's husband in publicly available court records, but his family says police took him away this morning and they haven't seen him since. Live downtown tonight, Luke Jones, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
So y'all just heard that story right there, and I actually found out about this on an Instagram story. Like I said, it's amazing of the things that I'll find on social media and not from the actual news source itself, and then I have to go and do a dive to find the clips. And luckily for me, this is a fresh story. It just came out less than 24 hours ago. So you heard it, and you have this guy who is being a creep, going around looking through people's windows, and he ends up getting scared off one time by someone. And then when the person is gone, the person who scared him off the first time, he circles back and he comes back, and this time with a hammer. And you heard the woman right there in the clip. She said that her mom could hear this person from the bathroom. Apparently, she was using the bathroom. How she was using that, that's irrelevant at this point. And then smashed the window with a hammer. And she said she thought that it was a gunshot. That's how hard that he hit the window. Then the other woman is saying that her husband basically came out and attacked this guy, shot him in the leg. And, if you saw the clip, he had it ace bandage or wrapped or everything like that. Now, the guy in the black that was having the handcuffs put on him, that was the guy that was being the creep. But they end up charging the husband for protecting not only his property, but his family. And people online are saying, like, what in the world is this all about? Like, all he was doing was protecting his family, his wife, and himself, and even the other people in that community. And he's the one that gets arrested and charged with aggravated assault. What does that sound like? Doesn't that sound like Kenneth Walker and what he was doing to protect his home and his unfortunate now deceased girlfriend, Breonna Taylor, over 5 years ago? And the cops, they pretty much get away scot-free, or at least up until recently, because one of them got sentenced to I don't know how many months in jail. Like that means anything. But they arrested and charged him until he got in front of an on-code judge in the name of Olu Stevens that helped him out so he wouldn't have to spend all of that time in prison. That sounds like the same thing that is happening here. And when I hear this story, it reminds me of a time when I was an undergrad and we were staying in some off-campus apartments, and some of the girls over there, because they had it split. They had the boys side and they had the girls side, and they were dealing with something similar to like this, to the point where I remember one of them telling me they had to sleep with a knife under their pillow because the person actually made it into the apartment at night while they were sleeping. Luckily nothing happened further than that, but it got to that point. But after that, they never came back. But the thing of the matter is that they are charging the wrong person. They charged the guy who's protecting them with aggravated assault. How in the world is that even possible? But you don't really charge the person who actually was doing it. And they said he's been doing this for a while. They said that what this guy is doing is not new. They said he's been there before. And now what, you just gonna leave the people of that community wide open for an attack again? And you heard what one of the women said. She said that the HPD, they have had to call them so many times about problems like these. It maybe have been this same guy or may have been somebody else, but they said they don't do anything. So when they decide to finally defend themselves against people like this, against creeps like this, then that's when you want to go after the person who's actually doing the protecting. Like, that is so ass backwards. But I'm not in the least bit surprised or shocked. I wish I could know the demographics of this area, because I'm looking at it and I'm guessing it's majority black, because if you saw the pictures, the two women was speaking. One of them is definitely, black. The other one, she's light skinned, but that doesn't really mean much. I mean, they'll be putting her under the label of black regardless. And then the person that was arrested, the creep, is black himself. I'm assuming that the brother-in-law to one of the women is black, and I'm assuming that the woman's husband who got the guy who was the creep, who unfortunately got charged with aggravated assault, is black himself. So this is most likely a majority black neighborhood. So if my hunch is correct, that would explain why they don't get their calls to the HPD taken seriously, which again does not surprise me. And see, the thing about it is, again, it goes back to the self-defense. In this establishment, black people aren't allowed to defend themselves, at least not without a consequence behind it, even if it's against another black person. Apparently what this guy was doing, and they can't say that they hadn't been getting calls before about this dude, but they just ignore him. But the one time they want to come out there is when someone actually does something about it. Again, so ass backwards. But if there's any update to come from this story by the time this gets uploaded, I'll be sure to insert it. If not, and this is the end, then we'll see what happens at a later date.